What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So guys, channel membership is now live. Link is in the description and the first comment. Do check it out. That would really help support the channel. So let's start this video with about 18.5 weeks out physique update from Rafael Brandao. Now we do not expect him to look very impressive this far out of the show because he isn't the biggest guy in the men's open bodybuilding. But that symmetry and the aesthetics, that is something that always stands out, no matter what. Now, we always hold Rafael Brandao at a very high standard because some of the top judges, like Tyler Mannion and Steve Weinberger, they say Rafael Brandao is very complete. He has no weak shots whatsoever, especially when he is truly on. He doesn't have any weaknesses, apart from the fact that he still needs more size and more thickness and more density. But that being said, I must say that he has been truly on only once in the past few years, and that was at the Arnold, Ohio last year. Now, he was able to improve on his Olympia placings last year. He went from 10th to 8th, but still it was kind of disappointing for him, since he was hyped up to place as high as top 5 last year, by his team, by his coach Neil Hill, and even he himself, his own aim, that was to place top 5. But he just could not bring that same Arnold, Ohio look last year at the Olympia. And Rafael Brandao with that size disadvantage that he has always had, if he comes in off, even just by a tiny bit, he gets kind of overlooked and he gets marked down, especially in comparison to those top guys. And that is one of the major factors why he lost to William Bonac. Now last year, his coach Neil Hill said that it is gonna take Rafael Brandao roughly 2 to 3 more years to put on enough muscle and enough mass to close that size gap between him and Samson Dauda and Andrew Jack. Well, honestly, at this point, it doesn't seem like that he is going to be able to close that gap, especially this year, because he simply did not have an ideal off-season. For those of you guys who do not know, he had that stomach problem and he had to come down in terms of his calories intake to fix that problem. And even though Rafael has now been progressing at a good pace, but we know he just isn't a guy who puts on size very easily. It takes him a lot of time. But that being said, I'm excited to see him back on the stage. And let's see whether he can improve on his Olympia placings again this year. A winner of California Pro this year, Regan checks in at 5 days out of his upcoming show, which is going to be Toronto Pro, in what we can say looks like the best condition of his entire bodybuilding career. I mean, look at that quality of the hamstrings. They are looking beyond impressive. Now his back shots overall, they are very impressive, although he can definitely use some more size. But that can be said literally about 90% of the pros competing in the men's open bodybuilding. You have got to give respect to Regan on continuing his diet, despite the fact that he already won California Pro and he earned his Olympia spot for this year. So initially, even Dubai Pro was on his mind, but he really has to calculate how much time he's gonna have to make some more improvements before it's time to start the official prep for the big show this year, because the Olympia is the one that matters the most. So can anyone beat Regan at this upcoming Toronto Pro? Well, I'm afraid it looks highly unlikely, especially if Regan brings his all-time best, his A game. So from his first show of the season, the New York Pro, to Cali Pro, Regan definitely made a big jump, especially in terms of his conditioning, his overall look, and the man also brought superb fullness. And that is something that was missing from him the last time he was on the stage. I mean, holding on to the fullness that has been the major concern for Regan and that is why he had perfect scores, even against a very conditioned version of Sazan Hiroti. And he won that show very convincingly, both at the prejudging as well as at the finals. So can Regan be in this year's Olympia top 6 with the size that he has right now? Well, in my opinion, I don't think he can. He has to beat guys like Andrew Jack and William Bonac, and he can only do that if he makes some very good improvements in terms of his size. Not to mention there are so many other guys like Tonio Burton, Rafael Brandao, Brandon Curry, who are also gonna be gunning for that 7th place at the Olympia this year. But that being said, he is definitely well on his way to win the 6th pro show of his career. So just a few days ago, we were discussing that Rubiel Mosquera is still traveling a lot, even when he is very close to the competition. Well, here the man is now, in Dubai, spending those final 20 days completely logged in. So those pictures of him and Behrouz Tabani, which were taken in Italy, those pictures made it look like that Rubiel was in a seriously good condition. And as a fan of the sport, I am so glad that he will finally step back on the stage after a gap of 1 year and hopefully deliver a much better package this time around compared to what we saw from him at the same show last year. Now, if Rubiel gets truly peeled up to a point where he has enough separation everywhere, especially in his legs, which at this point we do not even know whether that is even possible for him or not, as this could very well be a genetic thing. But that being said, if Rubiel comes in truly shredded, the enormous size that he carries, and with the kind of freak factor that he has, he is gonna be very dangerous and very scary for all the competition here. And if we look back at his physique from Dubai Pro last year, he had pretty decent aesthetics. He had that nice V-taper, a very good X-frame, especially when he is in the pose. Hopefully Rubiel stays logged in with his diet post Dubai Pro as well, and he continues to compete until he gets that Olympia qualification. And I'm very certain he's gonna be a worthy Olympia competitor, someone we all wanna see on the biggest bodybuilding stage.
Some people, they were asking me why I feel so down. Well, I feel so down because I feel betrayed. Why I'm betrayed? I will tell you a little bit of story. In 2022 on January, on the New Year day, on the same day of the New Year, I got this scar. 16 stitches in my face. Someone attempted to murder me. And I did not press charges. I lied to the whole universe about who did this. I start saying something fall down on my face while someone attempted to murder me.
Next up, we have a less than 3 weeks out physique update from Michael the Bull, and some of you guys also know him as the most shredded man in the entire classic physique division. So the man is having some real life problems right now, which he talked about on his social media. But despite that, Michael the Bull has had his eyes set on this upcoming Dubai Pro since the beginning of this year. So this is the biggest show in terms of the prize money for classic physique category apart from the Olympia and the Arnold. And we saw Michael the Bull was unable to bring his ideal look to this past Arnold Ohio stage. So this is gonna be like a redemption for him. And no disrespect to Michael the Bull, the chances of him placing top 5 at this year's Miss Olympia, with Thomas Ruffin coming back with such a strong momentum, they are looking very little. Now, I am not saying it cannot happen, but for that to happen, some of these other top guys, they need to come in off. So this upcoming Dubai Pro, that can be like an ideal case scenario for him. Not only will he get his Olympia qualification, but he will also earn a big paycheck while doing that show. So Michael the Bull was having some stomach problems, especially in the last 3 shows that he has done, and him not having the smallest waistline out there. Combine that with that stomach problem, that hurt him big time. Now, if I'm not mistaken, he is coaching himself for this one, for this competition. Now, he has done that a million times, so it should not be a problem for him. But he himself admits that his best looks, they were when he was working with Patrick Tuor as his coach. Next up, we have an update from the 2 times Legion Sports champion, Tonio Burton. So that caption right there, that only points towards one thing. Maybe Tonio isn't done just yet with his season for this year. And he's probably gonna jump into another show. And maybe Dubai Pro can be that show. And I'm gonna say why not? He's already in a superb shape. And the man absolutely dominated the Legion Sports last weekend. Even the 3rd place finisher at Dubai Pro, he's gonna get 25k in the prize money, which is still more than what Tonio Burton got for winning the Legion Sports. So I certainly hope that he jumps into this upcoming Dubai Pro, because the organizers, they are putting up a lot of money on the line. So they are expecting some of these top Olympians to show up at that show. And honestly, we did not get any idea how dangerous Tonio Burton is gonna be at the Olympia this year, because the lineup at the Legion Sports, that was relatively a weaker one. And we know Tonio has been as high as top 8. So his comparison with guys like Nathan Diasha, Behrouz Tabani, and Rubiel, they are gonna be so interesting. Now Tonio is the closest someone has ever gotten to the Blade Dexter Jackson, and Dexter, we all know, won the Olympia in the end. So Tonio came in bigger compared to last year this time. His conditioning was also superb, and believe it or not, the man is still the lightest guy in that Olympia lineup. Now Tonio Burton is in that top shape right now, and he should 100% take advantage of that and get his share of the money. So he's gonna be top 10 at the Olympia this year. But his aim, that is to crack top 6. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.